or welcome back to Calon Yarns podcast. My name is Lynn and I'm coming to you from Cardiff in Wales in the UK, and this is a podcast primarily about knitting, but sometimes about crochet, dyeing and spinning, but always a fibre related podcast. If you are a new viewer, welcome. Hi, I don't know how you found me, it's great to have you here. If you are a returning viewer, an old viewer, a long distant friend and viewer, hello, how have you been? I am so sorry I've been away for so long. Yes, it's been, I think, 2 years since my last podcast, and that is insane. So yeah, apologies for being away for so long. There are various reasons and I will chat about them later on, but I think, excuse me, what we'll do, if that's all right with you, I will talk about my knitting projects. I can assure you I don't have 2 years worth of knitting projects. That just has not happened, and I'll explain why later. But yes, I have a few finished objects. 2. I have some works in progress. I have some acquisitions. And then at the end, if that's all right, I'll have a little chat with you guys, those of you that have been around for a while, to explain where I've been, what I've been up to, and have a bit of a catch up. So this may be a bit of a stop-starty podcast because I'm out of the habit. I also haven't had a coffee yet this morning, and I'm also on the end of a bit of a cough and a cold, so I may need to take a pause for some drink and coffee, which I'm going to do right now. So yes. Here we go, back into the swing of things. I thought, in honour of my last episode, which was episode 61, so this is episode 62, did I say that? I don't think so. You see, I am out of the habit. So my last episode was 61, and I had pretty much just finished my Fossveien Sweater. Again, you still don't say it like that. Details I will put below by Inga Semmingsen. And so 2 years I have had this sweater now, and it is still going strong. Still one of my favourites, still holding up to regular wears. Yes, it's really lovely. It has a combination, as you can see, of the cabling, the texture work, the colour work. So yeah, love this sweater. But what have I finished? So the first project I want to show you is this one, and I am aware that I am slowly racking my brains for the designers' names, so I should put it down below anyway, but I think this is called Sunshine on the Path. It's like a quiz for myself because I will put it there in a second. Was it? I don't know. So this is called Sunshine on the Path, or whatever it said. And it is a lovely thin scarf, shawl, scarf I guess you'd probably say. Nice little shape. So I like the fact that it goes thinner at the ends. Should I put it a bit closer? I like the fact that it goes thinner at the ends because it means that when you wrap it around your neck, you've got a little bit of an ability to tie it in if you want it kind of close to your neck like a cowl. Or you can kind of drape it around a little bit more. So yeah, so I love the shape. There is a simple pattern all the way through, and I have done it in a Nellie and Eve yarn. Nellie and Eve is an amazing natural plant dyer of yarn. I do have her details here because there's another bit that I want to show you in a second. So this is Nellie and Eve. That isn't the yarn band for this. Do I have a little bit more of it? I'm sure I did somewhere. Yes, 1 second. So this is a fingering weight yarn, and this was in her nettle colour, I believe. So it's showing a bit cream in the camera, but actually it is a very light olive, maybe a very pale green. And the reason why I wanted to do this sort of scarf is that I've got quite a lot of colourwork sweaters, and I was finding then I've also got quite a lot of colourwork shawls, scarves, that that's too much, I think. It's too much going on. So I wanted a nice plain scarf, and Carol, my friend Carol, has knitted this one before, and she wore hers a lot, so I thought, right, yes, that's clearly the pattern I need. So I did it in this, and this, hinting into where I've been for 2 years, so this I bought in the Wonderwool trip that I was talking about in episode 61. So yeah, and I've like not long finished it. I say that, no, I'm being harsh. I'm being harsh on myself. I think I probably finished this last autumn, I think. So I have had a season's wear out of it, but yeah, using this, the thing that I needed desperately in Wonderwool 2021, I think it was. It must have been. Where are we now? 2024. Yeah, I needed it, and now I have finally done it. So yeah, it is lovely. It's really lightweight. It is super soft. I will put more details about the yarn dyer below, but thoroughly recommend Nellie and Eve. And at Wonderwool this weekend, it's Thursday now. Yeah, Thursday the glasses on. Oh my gosh, like this is so important. Thursday the 25th of April 2024. Wonderwool this weekend. Yes. In Billthwells. So yes, I shall be obviously heading back to the Nellie and Eve stand to get something else that I will need for my next project. But yeah, that is a really lovely pattern. I thoroughly recommend. Nice to have something thin, light, beautiful, beautiful yarn. So that's one of the first finished objects. Let me take a quick drink. Yes, Wonderwool Wales, those of you who don't know, I'm sure most of you do, is held in Billthwells, well, in Llanelwydd, which is just outside Billthwells in mid Wales, the last weekend of April every year. I think I've been going since it started. So very excited to be going up there this weekend with my friends Carol and Tracy. I've got some gossip about that a little bit later, which you can have, but you know, let's just do the projects first. So yes, very excited for a bit of yarn heaven this weekend. Next project. So, do I do this one first? Yeah, I think I do. So it is a finished object, but there is a bit of a story around this finished object. So this is the Polina Pullover by Tetty Knits, I think it is. I shall put the details below. Yes, I like this sweater very much. So I will, I won't put it on today because I haven't blocked it yet. I'm going to block it tonight. But it is beautiful. So yes, Polina Pullover, Tetty Knits. She has some beautiful patterns. I'm sure you follow her already, but if you don't, go and have a look. She is, oh, what's the word? Never mind. All her patterns are influenced by flowers and plants. I think her PhD is in flowers and plants, whatever that actual proper name is. So yes, so she creates the most amazing yolks and colour work patterns. So I did this in a combination of Hillesvåg Yarns. It's gone dark now. Now I'm back. And Jameson and Smith in this, what's this shade? So this is, oh my gosh, shade FC24 Mix. Very, very beautiful title. And the Solia is Rosa colour. Yes, so I have quite a lot of things in Hillesvåg. This is in Hillesvåg, but Hillesvåg Ask, A-S-K. I find it a really, really lovely brand of yarn. I think I said in my last episode as well, but I would still agree that it is my favourite yarn brand. It's sturdy, it feels a bit, not that one, it feels a bit crunchy in the ball, but when you block it, when you wear it, it softens up beautifully, and this is really soft. It feels sheepy, it feels woolly, but it is not scratchy, and I am quite sensitive, especially here. So yes, it's got 3 different neck options. I went for the longer rolled neck or flared tulip neck, I can't remember. But yeah, there are 3 different neck options of the pattern, all which are clearly described. So the gossip around this sweater is that Carol, Tracy and I decided, I think I suggested it, stupid thing to say, that we should have a knit along and make matching sweaters for Wonderwool. Not in the same colour, that would be a bit too weird, but same patterns. So yes, great, lovely, we did that. So we had a lovely cast on party, which started to make me think, oh, I must get back into podcasting, because that would have made a great episode. We were all talking about different yarns that we might use, different combinations, some using some from stash, some buying some new. Mine was a combination, no, actually mine was all from stash, but a combination of new and stash colours. Which combination of colours? Did we need to do a swatch? Yes, probably. Did we? Probably not. What needle size? Had we knitted something else in that yarn before? What needle size did we do before? What gauge did we get? So all those brilliant conversations, I was like, this is great, because this is the conversations that we all have with each other all the time as knitters. So yeah, next time we do that, I will record it. So yeah, so we decided to do that. We were going to wear it for Wonderwool. Great, happy days. Cast on, away we go. Then we'd all done the colour work. I was getting along really well. So was everybody. I might have been a little bit behind, which now starts to undermine the story I'm going to tell. But anyway, so I was a little bit behind. I'd just finished the colour work. We met up for a cup of coffee. Very lovely. See how we're all going. Carol was worried that hers was too small. So obviously, as you always do, you go, no, it'll be fine. Just give it a good block, you know, stretch it out once you're done. Everything will be fine. No, don't think so. We'll carry on a little bit longer, see how you go. So at that point, I was thinking, oh gosh, I'm not sure we're going to make it, the sweaters, to Wonderwool. So then we had a message going, no, and I haven't spoken to them about it yet, and you wait till I see them this weekend. No, Carol says, I'm not going to do it. It's going to be too small. I'm going to need to rip back. I don't think I'm going to wear it to be able to finish the sweater for Wonderwool. At that point, I was like, oh no, that's really sad. So I then thought, I'll take my foot off the gas. I won't get it finished, because Carol will feel bad if we've all finished and she stops us wearing the sweaters at Wonderwool, because we wanted to go as a 3. So that would be really sad. So I was like, oh, I'm not, if I finish it and then we don't wear it, Carol will feel bad, I think. So it doesn't matter. I won't race to get mine done. Anyway, and here's the interesting thing. About a week ago, had a message. Yay, it's all fine. I blocked it, it's fine. 1 arm to do and then I'm done. So now I'm properly behind. So I sent a message saying, oh, that's great, but I really don't think I'm going to get mine done in time. I think I hadn't quite finished the body. Oh, what comes back is, oh, don't worry, you can wear yours next year. The betrayal. So they were going to quite happily wear their jumpers without me. And I haven't spoken to them about this, but I will speak to them about it this weekend. So then I was like, oh, I have to get mine finished now, which I have. I was up at 5 o'clock this morning to sew in my ends so I could block it tonight so I can wear it for Wonderwool on Saturday or Sunday. Not sure where we're going yet. So yeah, how cruel is that? I was being a nice friend. It wasn't that I was behind. I had plenty of time, but I did it. I finished it. Hooray, hooray, hooray. I'm very happy with this. Maybe I will sport it in my next podcast. And now my battery is flashing at me. So I'm just going to change battery and I'll be back. Okay, all sorted, I think. Yes, so I like this very much. There's short rows around the neck. There are, as you can see, I don't know if you can see. So can you see the gap between the 2 colourwork sets? So on the back, you can see that gap is slightly bigger. So you've got short rows in the neck and also, or just after the actual neck, and then you've got short rows in the back. So it's a really nicely shaped, even though it's quite boxy, it's a really nicely shaped sweater. At the moment, this bit at the back, it kind of not bulks out a bit, I think is probably the best way to describe it. But I think knowing this yarn, knowing the Hillesvåg yarn, once it's had a good soaking, it will relax down and all the plume will happen. And like this, it'll make it a lovely texture. So I'm not too worried about that. Yes, so I shall be wearing this to Wonderwall. I won't be able to give it a full soak, I don't think. I might have to do a spray block because with the weather being the way it is, I don't think it'll dry out by the time we go at the weekend. Because I can't even remember whether we're going Saturday or Sunday to the show. I really can't remember. And I had a look at our tickets and it says Saturday or Sunday, so I don't know. Anyway, but we're going up for the weekend. We stay in an Airbnb up there, whichever Airbnb we can find. So yeah, we're gonna do that this weekend and I cannot wait. So yes, Polina Pullover, details, links, etc. will be down below, and maybe for the next podcast I will wear that one so you can see it a bit better. So that, oops, is that one. Oh, and I put that, the project bag I used, oh, the sun is coming through now, apologies, is this lovely bag, and it's got sort of a roll top shenanigans that you clip. It's a woolen fabric, what we call like a tweedy fabric, and it is from Midwinter Yarns. Let's see, 1 second. Yeah, Midwinter Yarns at Wonderwall last year before. That was a purchase. So yeah, really, really lovely bag. They do some beautiful yarns and some beautiful bags. So that project lived in there. So I need to clear out that bag, and now it's done. So that's that one. So other projects on the go. Now, because of where we are in terms of podcast, and the last podcast I did, so this I talked about in the last podcast, and I think I just pretty much cast it on, maybe did an inch or so. And this was from the Shetland Wool Journals. I'm not sure what number they're on now, but this was number 2, I believe, yeah, volume 2. So it is the Nighthawk Slipover. Let me show you a picture if I can. Can I find one? Maybe. So yeah, the Nighthawk Slipover. Otherwise known as the tank top. I think I said that last time. I've got some strange Tarantino lighting on me now. Let's not avoid the sun. So I have pretty much, I think, not finished it, not far off. I'm going to unroll it now, and I don't think I have unrolled it for probably about 18 months. So excuse the dust cloud probably, and moths that come off it. Yeah, I have, you know, I have nearly finished it. Okay, so this is what I have done. Oh my goodness. And actually, just looking at it now, I've fallen back in love with it. But I think the problem is, when you put a project away for a long period of time, the thought of getting back into the headspace of the pattern and rereading your handy little notes that made absolute sense when you wrote them is quite, it's too much sometimes, would you agree? So I know that I need to kind of get back into the headspace and unpick the notes in order to know exactly where I am in this. Give me 1 second, I'm just going to alter the blind because I can't see a thing. There we go, that should be a bit better. Yes, getting into the headspace of where I was in the pattern. So it is steeked armholes. So I'll need to eventually cut through the armholes. Steeked neckline to a certain extent. Yeah, so there's a lot of headspace needed to get back into it, to remember how to steek, to do all those bits and bobs. But it's really lovely. I do like it a lot. It's a lot bigger than I imagined, and I've lost a bit of weight as well, which we'll talk about at the end. So I'm not sure whether it'll be too big for me now, but it's silly to leave in a project basket because it is very, very lovely. I have, as I discussed in the last podcast, pretty much done it out of bits and bobs. I think pretty much out of hand spun stuff, a lot of hand spun stuff. Carol kindly lent me a skein of yarn because I was I'd run out of navy. Oh, look at this, where my needles are. I've been looking for those. Oh, yes. So I think that will probably be a summer, get my head back in the headspace to work that one through. Not that it'll be a summer wear, although who knows. Very lovely, and these journals are just beautiful. I haven't bought the latest one, but they really are quality publications, stories and recipes and patterns. Yes, so that's worth a little look. So that's that one that I need to kind of rediscover. What else have I got on the go? And then I have this little project which sits in my Christmas panettone tin. I don't know how many years ago I had this panettone, but yes. So excuse the noise of taking the lid off. I'll take a quick slip. This is a crochet pattern, and those of you that have been with me for a while will know what a success I have with crochet blankets, one of which is here, and how quickly I create them. So this one has been sat in this tin for quite some time, but it is just a very basic granny blanket, random. How far have I done? Not a great deal, but you know, not too bad. So yeah, just random bits of sock yarn. And what I've tried to do is make sure that the sock yarn I'm using is all the same sort of yarn, so it all has a little bit of nylon in it, so that if and when it gets washed, I know that it's gonna behave the same way. And I did the same with this one, with the squares. As you can see, it's all sock yarn, so that I know that when I chuck it in the washing machine, on a hand wash obviously, then it will behave in the same way, and I'm not going to get a square that shrinks or a row that shrinks. So what I've been doing is going through my stash, if I've been making some socks or whatever, just balling up little 10-gram balls of leftovers, and then just picking it out randomly. And I say that with a smirk, because it's never really random, is it? You go, no, I'm just going to put my hand in the tin, whatever comes out, and you go, no, it doesn't quite fit. I'm going to put my hand in the tin, whatever comes out is, yeah, that doesn't quite, I'm going to put my, you know what I'm saying. So random-ish, let's say. But I've got a mixture of solid colours and variegated colours. So what I am trying to do is a variegated line and a solid line. A variegated line and a solid line all the way through. And trying to pick out one of the colours in the variegated line for the solid. Make sense? So that at least there's a little bit of continuity as it goes through. I don't know if that's, yeah, I think you can sort of see that. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing with that. It's on a, glasses, oh, age, eh? It's on a 3.25 needle, sock yarn as I say. So yes, been working through that. And then what I've done, God, when I remind myself, sometimes I think, yeah, you did quite some thinking there for that. What I have done then is the bit that's left over from the 10-gram ball of randomness, I have joined into a big ball. So all the bits left over from each of the balls from the blanket, I've added in sequence, in order, to a master ball with the oh, what's the name for the knot you do? You know the join you do, and it's like 2 knots around each other, and then you pull it tight and snip the ends. That one. It's probably called the 2 knot join. It's not going to be complicated, is it? So I've joined all that into a master ball, so that once I finish the blanket, I am going to do the edging in this master ball, so that again there'll be some sort of continuity within the colours, the order, the sequence, because obviously people look at your crochet blankets and analyse them fully whenever they are putting them over themselves to watch the telly. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do with that one. How long has that project been going on, I hear you say? Yeah, quite a while. Not too long, only like 2 years, I think. I haven't picked up that one for ages. It's now actually a coffee table, so it's very difficult to get into because somebody's usually got their cup of tea on it. Anyway, that is in my panettone tin. I won't do that, it's going to be noisy. Oh gosh. I'll put that down there. I'll put that there. So that's that one. What else? We are coming to the end, I promise. Other project. Now, this is very humorous. This is Hide and Hammer. Hide and Hammer bag, sock bag, leather and fabric. Hide and Hammer sock bag. I'm making a pair of socks, obviously, in the sock bag. The yarn that I'm using, no idea. I think I might have dyed it. I'm not sure, it was just in my stash. Excuse me, how rude. So I thought to myself, I'm going to take those away this weekend because I've got one sock to finish and another one to cast on. So that'll be a good sitting around gossiping type of knitting. Then when I looked in the bag for the podcast, I've already done one. Don't even remember finishing that one. So yeah, done that one. Heel, flap and gusset. Yeah, like I say, it's a sock yarn. It's clearly a superwash. Don't really know, had no label, which is why I've got a vague recollection of dyeing this one, or maybe I dyed a similar colour, I don't know. And not only have I finished that sock, but look, I've got this far on this one. Don't remember doing that. So I'll be taking those away with me. Yeah, doing it on the Sock Wonder, the little tiny sock needles, and then I do keep a pack of DPNs for the heel, flap and gusset. Yeah, so that's that one, further along there than I thought. So on to acquisitions. A couple of things. I haven't really bought much. I know that Calon and Tracy are going to go, but I haven't really bought much because I haven't really been knitting much. Even the dog is huffing at me. I haven't really bought much, but I'll tell you what I have bought. So, as we know, Wonderwool Wales 2021, or maybe it was 2022, probably 2022. Oh my gosh, it doesn't matter. Was the Nellie and Eve Nettle. Beautiful. The last Wonderwool, so last year, 2023, because that was last year. Yeah, that must have been 2022. Again, limited edition, Nellie and Eve. Is that focusing? I can't see. So I don't have my glasses on. Let's have a look. Is that focusing? Yes. So limited edition, Nellie and Eve, Shetland wool. So this is a Wales-based natural yarn dyer. This is this beautiful grey. I'm coming in close so you can see. Yeah, beautiful grey colour. 100% national Shetland wool. So this was a limited edition. Now I have 150 grams of this. So when we were there, we bought 100 grams skeins. I say we, Cara and I. And she had on a beautiful, not a ranunculus, can't remember the pattern name, but that sort of thing, a nice sleeveless slip over that you would put over a long sleeve top. very lovely. Yep, we'll do that. That'll be the pattern. And then when we looked at it, we thought, oh, I'm not sure that 100 grams would be enough. She had made hers out of 100 grams, but she is a beautiful petite lady. So I thought, I'm not sure. So we went back and we bought another 100 grams and then split it. So we've got 150 grams of this. I have a pattern in mind. Can't remember the name. Don't know where it is. But that will be my next project. So yeah, that's lovely. Again, thoroughly recommend Nellie and Eve. So that was a 2022 purchase. 2023 purchase. Oh my gosh, I'm getting boring now. But we went to Stitch Fest November last year down at Newton Abbot in Devon. And I bought a couple of bits and bobs that I needed in Stitch Fest in November last year. Now we're in April. It is still in the bag that I got it from the person at the shop. So that's how much I needed it. But I'll show you anyway because it is beautiful. And as soon as you open these bags, isn't it? It's like, oh gosh, I love that. So I bought from Wivy Weaver. But yeah, this is a hand spun yarn, beautiful berry colours, and you can see it's got that nice thick and thin texture to it, which is beautiful. 80% merino, 20% silk. So I have a lovely hat pattern. It's just a slouchy beanie pattern that I do quite a lot, and I do wear during the autumn and winter. I do wear quite a lot of hats, and you know, you need different colour hats for different outfits. So that was what that was going to be in November, still here in its skein, but not for much longer. And then the next bits I got were from a company called the Camel and Yarn. Let me just check. Yeah, the Camel's Yarn. The Camel's Yarn, of course, which is a yarn dyer based in Cornwall. Here is their card and their logo. And she had some beautiful, beautiful colours and yarns. So obviously I needed these. I can't quite remember why. No, I do remember why. So 3 beautiful skeins. Look at those, just lovely. One of them being a superwash merino. It's this one in those lovely blues. I love a blue colour, again, for another hat. One of them being a 65 Suri alpaca and 35 mulberry silk. Like so. That is so soft. It is so beautiful. And look at these gorgeous tags. Can you see them? Oh, I think that's upside down. But this bit is sort of a fabric and a cardboard. Very cute. And this one is a slightly thicker 100% superwash merino, and the shade is Marazian. I know that's a place in Cornwall, but I can't remember how you say it now. So this one is a variegated yarn that is slightly thicker. I think it's either a double knit or an Aran. Let me have a look. Double knit, yeah. Now I can't quite remember which way round they go. I think these two go together to make a chunky hat. She had some beautiful chunky hats on her stall. Again, quite slouchy, folded rim. I think it was a petite knit pattern. I'm pretty sure it was a petite knit pattern for a quite a thick hat with a folded rim. So I think those two go together for that. I thought I bought 100% silk because I can be a bit tricky with alpaca. Never mind, whatever. Can you hear my tummy rumbling? I do apologise. And this is, as I say, a sock yarn in this beautiful blue. And I think this was on its own for another hat, I think. I mean, seriously? Like, do I have so many outfits that I need 3 different hats? clearly. I think this might have been for Moll. I don't know. Anyway, so that's what I bought at the Stitch Fest, yarn-wise, but I also bought these lovely little leather tags that go round the lip, the rim of your hat. You know, you kind of curl them around, which kind of gives them that nice professional look, I suppose. Yeah, that you kind of sew them around and you've got that little tag there. So I bought a few of those. I'm obviously going to need several with the 7,000 hats that I'm going to make, clearly, by next winter. Yeah, but that's a really nice stitch yarn festival. Stitch Fest in Newton Abbot. It's on the racecourse there, and it generally runs out of 2 or 3 little blocks, I suppose, rooms, function rooms. It's got a cafe there, and yeah, a nice little festival. It's not an all-day event as Wonderwall Wales is and can be. I mean, gosh, Wonderwall Wales, you could easily spend a whole weekend. That's what we used to do years and years and years ago. You spend the whole 2 days at the festival, at the yarn festival, because there's just so much to see. But yes, that's a nice little one to go to. And we've got one coming up, I think in June, beginning of June, called Cold Harbour Mill Yarn Festival. It's a new festival by the same people that run that one, I think. If I can find the links, I'll put them below. So yeah, so those are the acquisitions and projects done. So really, in terms of knitting, that is about it. And if you were here for the knitting, I hope there's something of interest in there for you, some patterns maybe that you haven't seen, or some yarn dyers and creators that you haven't seen. But yes, if you are a new viewer and you are just here for the knitting, maybe go back a little bit further, you might see a bit more sense. But if you are a returning viewer and have been a regular viewer, I'll probably do a little bit of a catch up of where I've been and what I've been up to. So yes, if you are staying, thank you so much. Can I just say a massive thank you to everybody that sent me a message saying, where are you okay, miss you, hope you're doing all right. I absolutely appreciated it, and I apologise for not getting back to everyone, but yeah, there's just been a lot on. So yes, where have I been? Oh my goodness, it's nothing major, I can assure you, nothing awful has happened, but it has been quite a couple of years of managing family, managing health, managing stresses, managing work. I think, as you all know, it's a tricky thing, isn't it, to kind of balance everything. And the last module, that's university, I was just on the phone to a colleague, the last podcast I did, talked about the fact that both of my children would be home from, that was the April, and I think my firstborn, Moll, would be back in the May. So yes, both children are still at home. And I think that's weird, having them both home, which is lovely. It's lovely to have them here, but there are extra bodies in the house. There is extra busyness, especially at weekends, and weekends is the only time I get to podcast. So that had happened, and I think in the last podcast I was talking about trying to balance out and reclaim the weekends as family time, as downtime, because I work away in the week. And I was finding then that juggling everything at the weekend was becoming more and more difficult. And weirdly, looking back on it now, I can kind of see where I could start to feel those extra stresses and strains kind of bleeding into some downtime. Yeah, so in terms of the children, they're great, they're fine, but yeah, dealing with some mental health issues has been difficult with them. And I think as a parent, it's so difficult, isn't it? Because you just want to get in and fix it. When they're small and they've got a bump or a poorly tummy or whatever, we get the magic cream and we get the plasters and we do that and we fix it and we sort it. But when it comes to mental health, that is a whole different ball game. And you can't get into their brains and have a little look around and open the curtains, get the windows open, get some light and some air in there. It's much more of a difficult thing to navigate, and you kind of want to be there, but you can't be over imposing. You want to take their hands off, but then you worry and you fear for them. So we've had a few dark moments, but I think we are out the other side, and I think yeah, we've managed to kind of support and make changes where we've needed to. We have a dog. This has been a new addition to our family, so that has been a massive impact, and he's been happily snoozing away there. So that has been part of that reframing of our worlds and our life, and yeah, that has been really good. It's been good for us as a family and for the children. I say children, they're what, 23 now? Crazy. But yeah, that's really hard to deal with, I think, as a parent, when you're watching your child go through those things and not be able to fix it. So that had been a big stressor, which had kind of impeded, is that the right word, on those weekend times. And then menopause. Oh, what a joy that world is. So I had clearly gone into perimenopause, which I think, you know, is the correct term, during lockdown, during the pandemic, and trying to get help, trying to get the right HRT, trying to get the right input on that and what it is, because it can show itself in so many different ways. So that took a long time to work out, and I think looking back now, some of the fatigue that I was feeling over that time, and fatigue, not tired, not ooh, early night for me, but proper tiredness. And anybody that's been through that will know that the brain fog, the managing of that time is so hard, and because you're in it, you can't see it from the outside. It's just a slow drip effect. And I think when I realised that it was quite bad, all those symptoms, is when I'm usually a get up and go sort of person. Yep, come on, let's go. Doesn't matter if we've got a plan, sort things out. We have a camper van. We've always loved going on little breaks and weekends with the family. And when I was starting to think, oh, I don't want to go because I don't have the brain capacity to think about what I need to take. That for me was though, okay, there's a bigger thing here, because that's not like me at all. I am, let's go. So that was a big hint there that something bigger was up, and just kind of thinking, oh, nobody wants to be around me. I'm just too busy. I'm just going to work, come home. I was going to bed like 8:30 at night because I was just done. I was so tired. But anyway, working through all that, I am on HRT. Everybody's views are different. That's worked for me. But in terms of getting the combination right, that's taken quite a long time. And I don't think that has been the perfect recipe until January this year, really. I think the last piece of the puzzle went in, and now I'm slowly feeling like me again, which is great. So that was all that. Mental health, HRT, menopause. And then a nice little side swipe there. Last summer, I'd had COVID, but was left with quite a lot of breathlessness, as a lot of people probably are. But it went on for a long time. So anyway, popped into the doctors, not sure. I say popped into the doctors, had an on-the-phone consultation. Did some blood tests, bits and bobs. Was really anemic. I've always had an issue with hanging on to iron and all that stuff, but yeah, really anemic, and that was what was making me breathless. So I was no longer having a cycle, so needed to investigate that a little bit more in different ways. I won't go into the details. But yeah, anyway, transpires that I was losing blood, and it transpires that I have Crohn's. So Crohn's disease, which is part of the irritable bowel disease umbrella, Crohn's, ulcerative colitis, I have Crohn's. So that was a bit of a, oh, right, okay. So just managed to balance everything out with menopause and the medication, HRT there. And then to throw this into the mix, it was like, oh my goodness. So I really didn't want to go on steroids and immunosuppressants straight away. That's my decision. So I've had a real rejig of work-life balance, a rejig of diet, so I no longer eat gluten or lactose or refined sugars. Well, obviously, you know, you can't avoid it 1000%. I'm not allergic to those things, and my hat goes off to you if you do have a gluten allergy. Obviously I'm intolerant, I think, but not an allergy. But yeah, so having to reframe all that, hence the losing quite a bit of weight, which is interesting because I'm still eating loads. So yes, have managed to get those inflammatory markers down without medication so far, but we'll see how that goes. That's sort of a work in progress. So yeah, a lot of things, nothing awful, but a lot of things to juggle, and so finding the headspace to knit, to find the joy in that again, has taken a bit of a time to find again, and to find the space without worrying about other people and other things, and not feeling 100% myself before coming back to podcasting. That's also taken a bit of a while as well. But yes, here I am. And what happens with me, I think, when I feel like I have to do something, I get quite avoiding of it. I think there's a term for it probably, but yeah, if I have to do something, if there is pressure on me to do something, I kind of opt out, and that was what I was finding with the podcast and with Calon Yarns in general. But I think I am slowly getting back, so I hope you can forgive me. As I say, I really appreciate those comments and those notes and those messages, and apologies of not being in the right headspace to be able to respond to you, but I did read them all, and it did make me feel warm and fuzzy inside, but I just did not have the capacity to respond. But here we are. My battery is flashing at me, which is probably no bad thing. So we'll see how we go, is it? Hopefully I'll see some of you at Wonderwall this weekend. Hopefully I'll see some of you at the Cold Harbour Mill in June. But yes, we'll tick away. I can't promise when I'll be back, but hopefully we'll do another one. Maybe let's start monthly, something like that, and see where we go. I've got some plans for going out and about in the camper van again. That camper van mojo has come back. We've been over to France a couple of times to see my dad. We've been out and about in the Lake District with the camper van, and to the beacons and things like that. So UK based stuff. So we'll see how we go. But yes, thank you for putting up with me. If anybody's there, anybody there? Have you all, I'm not surprised if you've all gone. But yes, we'll see how we go. So happy knitting. Happy yarn creations, and I will catch up with you soon. Thank you so much for listening. I'll speak to you again. Hwyl fawr. Bye.